All right, guys. So in continuation of the analysis in regards to the aftermath of the Trump impeachment acquittal, we have Trump's lawyer here who's going to go one-on-one with the CBS News analyst, and he's going to absolutely destroy her, okay? Because depending on who's getting interviewed, the media will try to frame questions in a way that's slanted politically, right? To try to imply and make the viewer believe certain things about the person that's been interviewed. This happens all the time, right? Obviously, Fox News has a right-wing slant. CNN has a left-wing slant. MSNBC has a left-wing slant. That's just how it goes. What I love about this interview, Trump's lawyer, Michael Van der Veen, he absolutely destroys this CBS analyst and calls her out on this media bias that always happens. It was beautiful. Let's take a listen.
Joining me now is former President Trump's attorney, Michael Van der Veen. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Let's get right into those words that we heard from Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. He ended the trial with his passionate speech about President Trump's involvement in the insurrection. During it, he said that the former president is still liable for everything he did during his period in office. Are you expecting to face more charges against Mr. Trump in the near future, and do you anticipate being part of that defense?
No, that's just political rhetoric, and I was hopeful that something would come out of this, that the political rhetoric would stop out of Washington, D.C., but I guess apparently it hasn't.
Were you, though, surprised to hear those words coming from the leader of the Republican Party in the Senate?
I'm not surprised to hear a politician say anything at all.
He right about that. These politicians will say anything to get elected, okay? They will say anything to cover up their corruption. They will say anything for a dollar, okay? They are bought and sold every single day by corporate America. A politician is simply a pawn. Honestly, at the end of the day, guys, if you want a politician to do a flip for you, all you need to do is buy one. That's really what you got to do. Just buy your politicians. China has figured this out, guys. Just buy your politicians. They're for sale.
No.
Well, throughout the trial, you denied that Mr. Trump had a role in inciting the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol. You argued, first of all, that there was no insurrection, but during your closing arguments, you seemingly admitted that there was, in fact, an insurrection, using that word, saying that was not up for debate. What role did the former president play?
You didn't understand the case. I used the word
I'll give you the opportunity to clarify, sir.
Sure. I used the word insurrection in my closing argument when quoting the charging documents. What happened at the Capitol on January 6th is absolutely horrific. But what happened at the Capitol during this trial was not too far away from that. The prosecutors in this case doctored evidence. They did not investigate this case, and when they had to come to the court of the Senate to put their case on, because they hadn't done any investigation, they doctored evidence. It was absolutely shocking. I think when we discovered it and we were able to expose it and put it out, I think it turned a lot of senators. The American people should not be putting up with this. They need to look at who these House managers were and look to see whether these are the folks they want representing them. It was shocking to me. Wouldn't have believed it.
Let's follow up with a point that you're making right now about the House managers, as you say, doctoring evidence, and the argument.
They didn't deny it.
Viewers,
they didn't deny it. I put it in front of them 3 times.
To be clear for our viewers, what you're talking about now is a check mark. That's a verification on Twitter that did not exist on that particular tweet. A 2020 that should have actually read 2021, and the selective editing, you say, of the tapes. Is that how? Is that the doctored evidence of what you're speaking?
Wait. That's not enough for you? That's not enough for you?
Wait. No,
sir,
no. I'm trying.
Listen,
I am not a juror in this trial. What I'm trying to be clear for our viewers is what you're referring to, because not everybody has been following.
It's not okay.
So She tries to say she's not a juror. Yes, you are. Because throughout the whole interview, guys, you notice how she put emphasis on the insurrection part of what happened at the Capitol. Every single time she talked about it, she always made sure she highlighted the word insurrection. She emphasized it each and every time because she knew that she was going to ask Trump's lawyers about the fact that he didn't call it an insurrection until he was quoting the articles of impeachment in his closing statements. See, she already came into this interview teeing up, right, her own rhetoric, right, trying to paint the minds of the viewer that, guys, this was an insurrection. Remember, this was an insurrection. These people tried to overthrow the government. Remember that, guys. That's what they tried to do. Now, Trump's lawyer here, he's denying that. He's trying to downplay that. He's not calling it what it is. Guys, this stuff is subtle, but it matters, right? Framing matters. This is the art of how the media frames certain topics, right? She's trying to make him seem like, well, he's trying to, downplay what happened on the 6th because he didn't call it an insurrection. But he secretly knows it's an insurrection because he quoted it on the articles impeachment. And see, that's the thing, guys. These media people, they're sneaky. They're sneaky about how they do this, right? Instead of just asking him, could you summarize your allegations that evidence was doctored so that the viewers understand? That's a fair way of giving him the opportunity to explain exactly what happened without her trying to basically say, well, they just add a little check mark on Twitter. They changed the date here and there. Is this what you're talking about? Is this really what you're complaining about right now? Is this really what you're trying to compare to the insurrection on the 6th? And again, guys, I have to make this clear. I condemn everything that happened on the 6th. I'm against violence. There should be no violence. I'm pro-peace. Okay, I just got to make that clear. But this whole framing around the insurrection is done on purpose in order to get consensus on what happened on the 6th. That's what they're trying to do.
Following.
It's not okay
not everybody,
to doctor
sir,
a little bit of evidence.
Respectfully. I have not said it is. I have not
ma'am,
said it is okay.
Ma'am, your question is
I want to be clear for our viewers.
Listen, what has to happen
I want to be clear for our viewers about what exactly you're saying when you say doctored evidence.
The media has to start telling the right story in this country. The media is trying to divide this country. You are bloodthirsty for ratings, and as such, you're asking questions now that are already set up with a fact pattern. I can't believe you would ask me a question indicating that it's all right just to doctor a little bit of evidence. There's more stuff that we uncovered that they doctored, to be frank with you, and perhaps that will come out one day. But we won this case, and I'm not a sore loser, but what happened,
That's a good point. There's really no reason for him to be this upset considering how they just won. So him having a legitimate beef with his allegations means that he, at his core, feels that these people doctor evidence, which in a trial like this, guys, of this magnitude, is a big deal. Even if it's done a little bit, because if they were willing to do this, what else may they have been willing to do? What other evidence may be in question, right? That's how you got to think about this stuff.
Or a sore winner, I should say. But what should happen is somebody should look at the conduct of these House managers. It's unconscionable, aside from all of the due process violations that my client had. And the media should be looking at a square, straight way. The straight way. When I watch the news, I watch one station and it's raining. I watch another station at the same time and it's sunny. Your coverage is so slanted, it's got to stop. You guys have to stop and start reporting more like PBS does rather than a TV news show that doesn't have any journalistic integrity at all.
TMZ. News has become TMZ, right? On all sides. It's all about entertainment and ratings. That's what it's about. Which is why, I'm very curious to see what CNN is going to do once all this is done and died down. Like, what are they actually going to do? Who are they going to complain about? I think they're going to turn on Biden.
What I'm telling you is that they doctored evidence. And I believe your question says, well, it's only a Twitter check and changing a year of a date here. They switched the date of a Twitter a year to try to connect it to this case. That's not a small thing, ma'am. The other thing they did is they put a check mark on something to make it look like it was a validated account when it wasn't. And when they were caught, they didn't say anything about it. They didn't even try to come up with an excuse about it. And that's not the way our prosecutors or our government officials should be conducting themselves. And the media shouldn't be letting them get away with it either. I'm tired of the biased media on both sides, left and right. What this country wants, what this country needs, is this country to come together, to take the left and the right and find a middle ground and start responsibly being our public officials, our elected officials. And one of the reasons why they do it is because of the media. Because the media wants to tell their narrative rather than just telling it like it is. And frankly, I'm tired of it. I'm not a media. I'm not in front of your cameras all the time. But what I've been subjected to this last week.
I understand, and I've given you the opportunity.
You don't want to hear the truth. Yeah. Okay.
I've given you the opportunity. I will remind you that what I said was that for our viewers who have not been following all of the hours of this trial, to be clear about what you are speaking about. And I understand
I'm speaking about the House manager's failure to prove their case. That's what I'm telling you. They weren't able to prove their case.
You have won the acquittal of your client.
Yes,
and if you'd like to continue to talk about this conversation, we can have that discussion.
I don't need to.
But for me to ask a question,
a slanted question that was set up to say it's okay for them to cheat. That was your question. Isn't it okay for them to cheat?
I didn't say that.
It's just a little bit. You said, to be fair, it was only a check on the Twitter. That's what you said. You got to live by your words. That's the problem. The media has to start living by the truth and not try to create a narrative.
Michael Van Der Veen.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. I do appreciate.
Yeah.
Okay. I see you taking off your microphone now. That was President Trump's defense attorney, Michael Van Der Veen.
She was shook, boy. She was shook doing this interview, boy. I'm gonna tell you, she was shook. She was like, I can't believe this man is pushing back on my BS. I can't believe I just can't come in here and roll over him with these slanted, one-sided questions. He's actually calling me out on it. I ain't never been in this type of confrontation before. Let me fold up and try to make excuses because, I mean, he's right. She did say, to be fair, we need to let our viewers know that you're just saying that they changed some dates here and added a check mark here. No big deal. That's what she implied, okay? And like I said, you know, Trump's lawyer is 100% right on this, and I love to see him calling out the media on this because the media should be called out more on this stuff, especially on liberal media. You know, and you could have picked up on the fact that she was doing this when she kept highlighting the word insurrection. She kept highlighting it, right? She made sure she emphasized it for a reason. And again, that's not to downplay it. That's not downplay anything. Of course, I denounce that, right? But you can tell that's how the framing works. She tries to load up the questions, right? Put a little spin on it. Put a little salt on it. You know, a little pepper on it, a little seasoning here and there. Make it taste a certain way, right? But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.